On July 7th, 1846, 7 weeks after the United States Congress declared war on Mexico, Commodore John D. Sloat ordered the USS Savannah and the sloops of war Cyane and Levant of the Pacific Squadron of the United States Navy to enter Monterey Bay and send troops ashore. The troops landed, seized control of the Customs House and Presidio in Monterey, raised the United States flag, and claimed California for the United States. The United States troops that landed in Monterey, the capital of Alta California, did not meet any resistance from Mexican soldiers. 2 days later, Captain John Montgomery of the USS Portsmouth seized Yerba Buena, now known today as San Francisco, and soon after the Bear flag was lowered over Sonoma and replaced with the United States flag, thus ending the very short-lived, just over 3 weeks old, Bear Flag Republic. On July 11th, the first United States flag was raised over the Sacramento Valley at Sutter's Fort. The flag was sent to the fort by Navy Lieutenant Joseph Warren Revere, the grandson of Paul Revere. In John Sutter's memoirs, he stated, "When the Star-Spangled Banner slowly rose on the flag staff, the cannon began and continued until nearly all the windows were broken. The next day, by orders of Captain John Charles Fremont of the United States Army, Sutter was removed from control of Sutter's Fort, and Edward Kern was placed in charge of the establishment." During the Mexican-American War, Sutter's Fort was renamed Fort Sacramento. It is really only during this time that the fort was really used for military purposes. Members of the Bear Flag Revolt enlisted in Fremont's California Battalion and the California Native Militia here at Sutter's Fort, who also served as the vaqueros, were intended to the cattle here in New Helvetia, the name of John Sutter's land grant, were conscripted in the battalion as well. Predominantly from local Miwok villages, some of the native soldiers that enlisted in the California Battalion from Sutter's Fort includes Olympio, Wistash, Homobono, Yanti, Clemente, Augustine, Batiste, Nella, and Nero. A full list of those who served from Sutter's Fort and also life in the Sacramento Valley during the Mexican-American War, and including the rescue of the Donner Party, can be found in the Fort Sutter papers kept by Edward Kern during this time. There were no battles here in Northern California, though. They were mainly in Southern California, but during the Mexican-American War, agricultural products and livestock from the fort were used to feed the soldiers. The original cannon behind me, known to history as the Sutter gun, was used during some of the battles of the Mexican-American War. This cannon, which was originally lost by John Sutter during the Revolution of 1845 in Southern California, was found by Charles Weber, later the founder of the city of Stockton, and used by the California Battalion in the Battle of San Pasqual, the Battle over the Rio San Gabriel, and the Battle of Los Angeles. This cannon was eventually returned to Sutter's Fort in the spring of 1847 by the United States military. War in California ended on January 13th, 1847, with the Treaty of Cahuenga. The Mexican-American War ended on February 2nd, 1848, with the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, and made all of Alta California part of the United States. This acquisition of Alta California consisted of the land now known today as California, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming. And a little fun fact, James Marshall finds gold at Sutter's Mill 40 miles from here 9 days before the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is signed. However, with this foreign policy doctrine of American expansion put forth by President James Knox Polk, made this war between the United States and Mexico inevitable. The seizure of Monterey 179 years ago encapsulates the very fabric of what we know of as manifest destiny in the American colonization of the West.